Naval hero and former presidential candidate John McCain is not mincing words. The senator unleashing on a group of Code Pink protesters who attacked former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger in a hearing, calling for his arrest. Watch this.
Arrest Henry Kissinger for war crimes! Arrest Henry Kissinger for war crimes!
You know, you're going to have to shut up or I'm going to have you arrested. Get out of here, you low-life scum.
From Code Pink to the Westboro Baptist Church, we've seen these protests all over the country. But when does free speech cross the line into criminality? Here to debate it is attorney Eric Guster and constitutional attorney Paul Millis. Good morning to both of you. Always happy when you're here for a debate.
Yes.
Is this kind of behavior appropriate by this Code Pink folks at Congress? And what about John McCain's statement? Is his statement appropriate?
Well, the Code Pink wanted to argue certain points, and they have the right to protest. There's a clear definition under the First Amendment of the Constitution that a person has a right to protest and free speech. However, just because you can say it and you can do it does not mean that you should.
Well, you can't do it in the middle of a congressional hearing. You can't have a protest. I mean, these folks allegedly, they were holding handcuffs over Henry Kissinger, 91 years old, open heart surgery, just had shoulder surgery. Is that a proper protest?
I didn't say it was a proper protest, but they can. However, in certain places, you can't do certain things. For example, taking handcuffs into a Capitol building or a governmental building, which is illegal, which the D.C. police are apologizing for now.
Okay, Paul, what is this about? Is this free speech or is this a free-for-all?
No. You can't have a free-for-all. The government has a right to establish time, manner, and place restrictions in terms of speech. This is an office building. This is a government building that's doing business. You just can't go in there and disrupt. You can silently protest. You could hang up a sign. You can do those sorts of things. But what they did was disrupt, to shove their view of what they wanted down the throat of everyone else. That's not legitimate protest under the First Amendment.
But they have a right to protest, though.
They have a right.
That is what we were discussing.
They have a right not to disrupt. They cannot disrupt the proceedings.
But they have the right to protest, and that's what I was saying. They have the right to protest, but exactly what they did was
let's frame the issue. We all have a right to protest in this country. We love that right. Americans like John McCain gave up years of his life to fight for that right.
So many people did.
But is this right in terms of what they're doing?
I don't think the manner in which they did it was right.
They should have been locked up, right?
Not for the protest. No, I don't think they should have been locked up. They should have been removed from the chambers, which they were. And just because you can do something does not mean that you should.
Paul, so these folks have been locked up for what they did?
What they did was to violate the rules of the Senate. What they did was to violate the law. This was not a legitimate First Amendment protest. They should have been locked up. Now, listen. They could raise the defenses as they wish. Let the prosecutor decide whether or not they're going to prosecute. But they should have been locked up. They went up with handcuffs behind a 91-year-old man and decided to essentially harass him. That
Paul says lock him up. Eric says let him go free. It's the right to protest. Good debate, guys. Smart lawyers here on Fox and Friends.